What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Hardcore Survival. So in the last episode, we went ahead and we built up this sugarcane farm as well as getting enchants. And then we have nice enchanted tools and also a really good pickaxe that has Fortune 3 and Mending, so we can pretty much mine forever now. So that's pretty cool. But in today's episode, what I was thinking we could do is start tackling another task on this board. And what I think we're going to do today is the villager breeder. Now, in order to do that, we do need to get 2 villagers over at our area. So pretty much that's what we're going to be doing for the start of this episode. So of course, what we're going to need in order to fulfill this task is getting 2 boats. That way we can transfer the villagers right back over to here. Now what we have to do is go around and look for a village. And I have a feeling it's going to be on the other side of the savannah, which I believe is the closest one that we found right at the start of episode 1. So let's head over there. What's going to suck is that we have this hill that we're going to have to bring the villagers over. And of course, we're doing them by boat, so we can't really go uphill. So we're going to have to probably take them through here and probably through the mountain as well. Here we go. There's a village over this horizon right here. So hopefully not only can we sleep because it's actually getting nighttime, but we should be able to get 2 villagers from here. Alright, so simply all we need to do is walk over to these villagers and place a boat right next to them, and they should get right inside of it. Let's try this guy right here. Place it right here. Nope. He said no. Let's try you. You gonna get inside a boat? No, what do you want? No, I want you up on this part. Alright, there we go. So now, all we need to do is take this guy all the way back to where we live. Can I do that? Can I go up? No, 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 no. Oh boy. He's trying to go all the way back, isn't he? He is. He's trying to run all the way back to his village. Sir. Sir, what are you doing? Oh. You saw nothing. Sir, are you trying to go back to your village? I'm afraid I can't let that happen. Alright, where's the... There it is. Alright, that should stop his profession and should make him try to run back here. Now we need to grab another villager. And their bell. Hi, sir. You're being chosen as tribute today. Alright, and we now have our first villager over in our area. Let's get him in a safe spot. This will work for the time being. Alright, now that we got the first villager in, we have to go back and get the second one. Alright, so here's the thing with this villager. His head is tilted sideways because he's trying to look back at the village, so we have to get him as far away from this village as possible so he doesn't try to run back to that village as soon as we let him out of the boat. Alright, so now this painful villager is over here, and of course he didn't want to be following these brewing stands, so what we actually had to do is open up their trade menu, and that actually makes them walk towards you, and we had to do that at some points, and he still didn't want to listen at some parts, so Put the torch in there, close them up, and just like that, we have 2 villagers over here and ready to build up a building. But as I'm walking around our area, I did realize that the worst part is that the fact that we have our cows and sheep both in cobblestone pens. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build up a stable for each of the cows and the sheep, so that way they don't have to be living inside of these cobblestone pens anymore. So let's go ahead and jump into a time lapse and do just that. So I've made the design in creative mode, but we actually are going to be needing brown wool to finish this, so we actually need to go to the jungle, and the jungle's like 2,000 blocks in that direction. I don't really feel like going that way, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to come into our storage room here, grab ourselves our obsidian, and go make a portal inside the nether, and I didn't mean to do that. And now we need to pretty much make a tunnel that leads all the way up here, and what I think we're going to do is take our portal and bring it up, not to the roof, but like right below the roof. Alright, so I went ahead and took this portal and grabbed it from right down there and moved it up to Y119, which is actually like very close to the bedrock. So now we're gonna go ahead and dig a tunnel all the way over to where the jungle portal is going to be. Okay, so the portal should be going to about right here. So now we can go ahead and build a portal right here, and it should lead us directly into the jungle. So let's go ahead, head through here and see what we get. And it looks like we did get a jungle, and we're like right on the edge too, right next to this mountain. And it looks like this is also next to another mesa. So if we don't want to mine any of the terracotta that's in the mesa right next to us, we can come over here and mine it over here. So now simply all we need to do is get out from this tree, in which I think we're going to jump to this vine and then get down. All we're gonna need here is cocoa beans and a little bit of jungle wood. It is nighttime though, so we are in a little bit of a risky spot. We actually have a bed on us, we can go ahead and sleep, and never mind, there's monsters nearby. Let's get up into this tree and see if we can do it up here. Alright, as it is now daytime, we can go ahead, and actually there's a little bit of bamboo here we can grab, so we can farm up a little bit of that. And here's what we really came after, these cocoa beans, because this is what's gonna give us that brown dye. And you know what? Let's actually kill these mobs. We really don't have to be dealing with them. Also, we're going to go ahead and throw out a bit of this netherrack because we really don't need it. So what we're also going to do is come over to like this jungle tree and chop it down. So not only can we start using jungle wood, but we can actually get the ability to farm the cocoa beans. We can also grab some melons. That way, when we want to make a pumpkin and melon farm to get a lot of emeralds, we can do that. All right, so now we just have to go ahead and get up to our portal and head back to the base. Okay, so what we're going to do with these cocoa beans, because you only actually gathered 3, we're going to come up to the top of this hill here, because I don't really want it to look bad in our area. What we're going to go ahead and do is place down a jungle log and then place some of these cocoa beans on it. We're going to wait for these to grow. Also going to place our 2 jungle trees down, as well as our bamboo, so we can start growing all of the jungle items. And now we simply just wait for this to grow. And just like that, we have ourselves some cocoa beans. So go ahead and replant this. Turn one of the cocoa beans into brown dye, dye one of these sheep brown, and then we can get our brown carpet for the build. Bam! So now let's go ahead and finally jump into that time lapse and build up our brand new sheep and cow pen. And just like that, we now have 2 pens built up for our cows and the sheep. Of course, it does look a little bit wonky because of where we put the villagers, but of course that won't be looking like that for too long because we're going to be all going ahead and building up the villager breeder in this episode. So now we actually have a very nice area for our cows and the sheep, and they're not just chilling in very tiny pens. And I actually just realized we need to put a little bit more grass path there. So now what we can go ahead and do is I need to get into the caves and actually get a little bit more cobbled deep slate. Because if we come in here, we actually only have about 3.5 stacks, and I need a lot more of that to go ahead and build up this villager breeder because we're actually going to be putting a building around of it. Because why would we want to just build the breeder? That would just look very bad in our area. So first thing we need to do is head into the caves and actually get some more deep slate. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we have pretty much all the materials that we're going to need to build up the villager breeder, including all the deep slate. So let's go ahead and hop into another time lapse and build this thing up probably somewhere in this area. Okay, and we actually had no problems building this up because sometimes when we're building, like for example, this one, I didn't really grab the glowstone, so we had to go over and grab that. But now this is pretty much 100% done. The only thing, of course, that we're missing is the villagers over there. We're also missing a form of crop. that we are going to need in order to actually make this farm function. We're also missing beds and one more trapdoor, but that stuff I can put in. Need some carrots in order to actually make this farm function. We'll also grab some potatoes and beetroot just so we can have them at hand if we need them. Okay, so I have gotten all of the carrots put in, as well as putting all of the beds out in the back. And we also have the full containment chamber set up. So now all we need to do is get the villagers inside of the breeder itself. Okay, so now we have this track going all the way into there. We can go ahead and hop into the top here. Break this boat. There we go. Now we have to push him, and then he'll make his way all the way into the breeder, and then we'll have to do the same for the other villager. And just like that, he is in. Just move him over a little bit. And then let's go ahead and get the other one situated in here. And now that this guy's in his cart, let's go ahead and push him and have him make his way all the way into the breeder. And now that they're in there, we're going to go ahead and fill in the glass. And then finally, all we have to do is take them out of their minecarts and go ahead and sleep. And then one of them should take the farmer profession of that from that composter. Okay, now that it is daytime, we can go ahead and see that they did take the farmer profession. Now they should start the breeding process eventually, and we can start having some baby villagers here. That way we can get tons of trades. And just in case you don't know how these work, so the farmer villager is going to be harvesting the crops and then feeding the other villager. And as they feed it, they're pretty much going to be breeding. And then because there's 4 beds over there, that new villager, the baby villager, normally tries to go over and jump on the bed, in which they're going to fall down into the hole right here. And then as soon as they hit that hole, they're going to be put inside of a tunnel that is going to start making its way over to here. The bottom of the tunnel is right there. And the baby villager will make its way down here. They'll stand here, and as you see, my head goes into the water, but if I crouch, it doesn't. So the baby villager is going to be pretty much as if I'm crouching, and then as soon as it grows up, it'll hit the water and then instantly swim up and get pushed into this corner, ready for a boat or a minecart to take them away. Now we just have to clean up all this stuff. All right, now everything has been cleaned up, and we now have a brand new villager breeder. So the next thing that would be on the list of actually where we need to be getting done over here is getting a path set up all the way over to our villager breeder over here. And of course, I was going to take the path off of here and bring it over to the entrance, but this enchantment table really needs to be moved in order to do that. So what we're going to do is, instead of making a whole new entrance to it, we're going to come into here and just dig out a little room that's going to be off of here and put it in there. And then simply just something like this is going to be perfect in order to put our enchant table right here in a little back corner of our cave. So let's come out here and move it in. And in order to move this efficiently, we're actually going to break this with our pickaxe that has silk touch. That way we don't have to waste wood to craft the bookshelves again. And then just filling this in so then we can make the path very easily. Now we have to go ahead and place our bookshelves and our enchantment table inside of that excess room. Perfect. Now we don't need to worry about having our enchantment table blocking up anything, and it's just going to be out of the way. So now we can come through with the shovel and start to form a path. And simply just something like that adds another path going around and really makes the place start looking better. Now let's add these light posts. And there we go. So now we have these lamp posts in, and it's starting to look a lot better around here. Now let's go down and check if we have any villagers yet, because I've actually spent a little bit of time and it doesn't look like we have any here, but we can check if we have any baby villagers down here ready. Looks like we don't. It may take a little bit of time for our villagers to start actually working. If it doesn't, I'll work through that in between episodes. Probably one of the major things that's stopping this farm from working right now is how fast these carrots are growing, because they need to be able to harvest them in order to breed. So now what I did is I threw on some shaders to really take a look at what this area is starting to look like with shaders, because I really love the look of shaders. I just don't normally play with it a lot because I don't have the best computer and it really decreases my performance. And the area is looking amazing with shaders. This building in particular, it's got the nice sun on it at the start of the day, and probably by the end, the sun's probably going to be over there. So it's going to cast a nice shadow. Also, just everything else in this area is looking very nice. The only thing that looks a little weird is these signs look a little bit brighter, but that's just part of the game. And of course, our glorious horse is looking amazing in shaders. But I think one of the best parts about making a build is just stepping back, throwing on some shaders, and just really taking a look at what it looks like. Because a lot of people just sit there like super up close to their build and they don't look at it from the far end, and it could actually result in a completely different build. And you may not even like it. And for some reason, the shaders that we're using makes the cave look really dark and ominous. It's actually kind of cool. Even the enchant room looks really nice. That is going to go ahead and end off episode 3. So just a little bit of a recap of what we did this episode is we got our nice cow pen and sheep pen built up for them to live in rather than being in to just plain old cobble pens. We also went ahead and we built up our villager breeder so then we can get villagers and make tons of trades. We also got these 2 villagers from a village over about in that direction, which were a pain to get over here. We also went ahead and we moved our enchant table all the way inside of our building so then it won't be out of the way of anything, and also so we could extend the path. And now our area is looking very nice. I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here because we're kind of running out of time. And I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys all in the next one. Goodbye.